Yo, 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 yo. What's good, y'all? What's good? What's going down? If you can hear me loud and clear, let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Mic check, mic check. If I sound loud and clear to you guys, let me know right now, man. Mic check, mic check. If I sound loud and clear to you guys, let me know right now. Sound good? Sound good? I'm just making sure the audio is on point, making sure everything sound good, loud and clear. All right, bet. I'm gonna go ahead, bring in my visuals. Bet. Yeah, man. We got a lot to talk about tonight. We got a lot to talk about tonight. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Got a lot to talk about tonight. All right, bet. All right, go ahead and bring my visuals. What's good, y'all? What's going down, y'all, man? Appreciate everyone that's in here right now. We got over 500 people in here right now. Thank y'all so much for joining in tonight. Yeah, the wrestling world has been shaken up once again at the behest of a freaky old man in Vince McMahon. Um, I know the saying that you're innocent until proven guilty, right? We've all heard that saying. But with Vince, it may be a little bit different because we've heard the rumors, we've heard things about Vince. Hell, we've seen how he's treated women and other men and other individuals on the show, how he's booked them. So some of these things that have been released today is very telling. Now, I'm going to put this out there. Nothing has been set in stone. So these are all accusations, speculations. It's not 100% true. We don't know that for sure. But I will say this, I'm going to give my opinion on it. We're going to give our opinion on it because we can only go from what information we have right now. And right now is not looking good. Now, I do have the documents. Shout out to one of the subscribers. He let me know what was going on earlier in the morning. And I was like, I got to talk about this. And he was able to get all the documents. It's 67 pages of what she claimed Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, and other WWE officials did or knowingly did. Now, I'm not going to go through all 67 pages. I'm going to skim through some of the stuff because it's a lot. I think some of y'all have seen some of the stuff that's going on. Someone said Ross got the script. In this situation, yes, I have the script of the court documents. But I will say this. Some of the stuff I've already read through, some of the stuff is wild. Like truly, truly wild. And you don't want to believe it, but at the same time, it kind of does make sense if Vince was to pull some type of stuff like this. And I also want to say, even though we're making jokes on Vince, this young lady, Janelle Grant, she was a victim here. If she says what happened here is true, she is really a victim here. And it's really fucked up. I'm just being honest with you. All jokes aside, we make jokes on old man Vince and his freaky ways and John Laurinaitis and everybody else. But at the same time, she is a victim here, potentially. And, I want to put that out there that this ain't cool. This is not cool. And this should not be something that anyone should be doing. Don't matter how much money you have. Doesn't matter your background. This ain't cool. So I just want to put that out there. Just for clarification, once again, this is just our opinions. It's not stated facts. We don't know for sure. But we're gonna go into what some of these documents have said, man. Also, Brock being implicated in some of this as well. That's a weird situation. And it's one of those things where, yeah, he may not have directly caused some of this, but if what she said is true and he's being implicated in it, whether his name's being mentioned or not, it doesn't look good for him either. And we know how close they are. So, yeah, we're going to get into this one, bro. This is just insanity. Not going to waste any more of y'all time. I already have it pulled up. It's right here. Shout out to everyone that's, a part of the stream. I appreciate y'all. We're going to go through some of this. Like I said, we're not going to read everything, but we're going to go through some of this right here. The plaintiff, Janelle Grant, basically going at WWE, as you see right here, the introduction. Plaintiff Janelle Grant is a former employee of WWE who was a victim of physical and emotional abuse, sexual assault, and trafficking at WWE. Ms. Grant is following this lawsuit not to just address her own suffering, but also to act for those who are afraid to speak out. Now, I want to say, initially, she was the one that brought this up. Initially, she was the one that kind of was the whistleblower to this whole situation a few years back, which is why Vince had to quote unquote retire. So the fact that we finally know what was actually said in the lawsuit now is very telling, because out of all weeks that this information could have been put out to the public, it happens on the Royal Rumble week with so much excitement going on for WWE. It happens when WWE gets a very lucrative deal with Netflix for $5 billion. And it also happens when The Rock becomes one of the board members of TKO, and Vince was there, him in his porn stash. It's very interesting that all this information comes out now, but it's been out. And part of me believes that TKO, some of the higher ups, they knew this information was going to come out. They just didn't know when. So the question becomes, why was this released now? There's no coincidence here. Why was this released when there's a lot of buzz going on for WWE? I don't know. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. The timing on this is kind of wild. WWE billionaire founder and executive chairman defendant Vincent K. McMahon lived in a penthouse duplex in Miss Grant's apartment building. The two met in March 2019 when Miss Grant was dealing with profound grief and struggling financially after devoting years to round-the-clock caregiving for her parents that passed, which is very tough. My mom is dealing with that right now with my grandmother, trying to be a caregiver for her while, she's dealing with dementia. On top of that, she was unemployed and her family home was lost in her parents' bankruptcy. After her family passed away, Ms. Grant dedicated herself to finding gainful employment. Neighbors in her building provided career advice and sought her assistance with personal events. Ms. Grant used these non-paying roles to volunteer work in the community initiatives to build her resume. The building resident manager wanted to help. She messaged McMahon to ask whether he would talk to her, sharing that Ms. Grant has been through hardships and would do great things if given a fresh start. McMahon enthusiastically said, "Hell yes." I'm sorry, y'all. Sorry, I just had to, read it in how Vince would probably say that. So yeah, essentially, young lady, she was down on her luck financially. We've been there before, and one of the managers wanted to help out. So, she knew Vince. Like, hey, can you help her out? You're Vince fucking McMahon. And of course, being Vince being the old creep that he is, all of this allegedly, y'all, that he decided to say, you know what? Yeah, sure, I'll help her out. McMahon befriended Ms. Grant, giving her hopes of a new life with promises of yet-to-be-determined role at WWE, and showering her with attention and assurances, along with gifts like a VIP experience at WrestleMania. But what seemed like a dream in the spring of 2019 became a nightmare. And this is the signs of a bad situation. If someone's quote unquote supposed to be helping you, get a job, but instead they're showering you with gifts and VIP experiences at WrestleMania, and of course it's Vince McMahon, all right, I'm sure she's gonna take it up, just see what's gonna happen. But I don't know if she planned for what was about to come later down the pipeline. Let's get right into that. As McMahon dangled career-making and life-changing promises in front of Ms. Grant, he demonstrated an increasing lack of boundaries during several meetings that were ostensibly, I think I said that wrong, ostensibly about a potential job at WWE. He greeted her in his underwear, touched her repeatedly, asked for hugs, and spent hours sharing intimate details about his personal. Oh man. Yeah. Ah. Now, at some point, you would think, okay, maybe she needs to abort the mission, right? Maybe she needs to leave it alone. But once again, she's down on her luck. And a billionaire is out here trying to, I guess you can say, help her out. But once again, billionaire, you're trying to get a job and they're doing nice things for you, and then y'all having meetings at his crib and he's in his underwear. It's not a good look. Right there, it's not a good look. And you would think you would need to abort, but when you ain't got much of nothing and you're down to your last, some people may ride out the storm like, let me see if I can benefit off this. If I can get somewhere in the company, get some money, you know what I'm saying? Let me see. And once again, this is true. This shows how predatory Vince can be because he knows she needs the money and he knows he's in that position to give her whatever she wants as long as she plays by the rules. So it's one of those type of things. Let's see. McMahon warned Ms. Grant to keep their closeness secret, lest rumors lead to public trouble, and added that while he protects loyal people, he had world-class legal resources on speed dial to deal with people who became a problem. Now, this I do believe, and I know some people are saying, well, why she didn't just say anything? Why she didn't say anything sooner? Well, you ain't got no money. You're dealing with a billionaire, and he's basically saying, shut the F up, or my lawyers will take care of you. It's one of those type of things. So at this point, she's probably, once someone's passively mentioning that to you, they're letting you know, hey, you here for the long run. Because even if she would have aborted mission then, who's to say what information he already told her wouldn't make him paranoid and make her life miserable? So it's easier to say, oh, just walk away from the situation when you don't have to deal with lawyers trying to bury you. You feel me? As such, when McMahon pushed Ms. Grant for a physical relationship in return for long-promised employment at WWE, she felt trapped in an impossible situation, submitting to McMahon's sexual demands or facing ruin. Ms. Grant feared that she had everything to lose and face negative consequences no matter what happened, like I just said. After succumbing to the pressure of a physical relationship, Ms. Grant was slotted into an entry-level position as an administrator coordinator. And y'all see how that happens? Once it got physical, that's the only time where he's like, all right, cool, I'm going to give you a job. Now she's in it too deep at that point. Appreciate the $1 Ban Chan. Thank you so much for that. A position McMahon created for her in a WWE's legal department. Ms. Grant began to work in that role on June 17, 2019. Ms. Grant remained in that role with the exception of a temporary relocation to the XFL Extreme Football League until McMahon verbally directed her to transfer to the Talent Relations Department, reporting to defendant John Laurinaitis. People power. This fucking guy. On March 9th, 2021. During a conversation the same day, McMahon explained that her presence in the legal department was effectively delaying efforts to hire a new general counsel for the company. McMahon and Laurinaitis informed Ms. Grant that she would be promoted to vice president of operations in the talent relations department, providing her with an organizational chart reflecting this decision. Shortly thereafter, they were informed that they needed her to begin at a lower level as a director, but promised her promotion to vice president after a 12-month period. So they're skyrocketing this young lady up the ladder, the corporate ladder. But the question is, what comes with that? And I think we're about to find out, unfortunately. Despite Miss Grant's expression of unhappiness and attempts to end the sexual relationship, and while she came to understand that McMahon expected the physical relationship to continue as part of her employment, she had no idea how sordid it would become, nor how the psychological torture and physical violence would leave her feeling helpless, isolated, and trapped. In March of 2020, McMahon began sharing sexually explicit photos and videos of Miss Grant, including pornographic content he recorded with other men both inside, outside the company, including with members of the television production tech team executives. So basically, Vince was acting like a high school teenager, finally getting some cheeks and telling everybody, kissing and telling. Hey man, look who I'm smashing. Look who I got doing this. Telling everybody that ain't got nothing to do with it. Mind you, y'all, at this time he's like in his 70s, I want to say. Old ass man. Telling everybody. And guess what? It's Vince. So he knows who he tells. And he knows if someone tells anybody else, he can take care of the problem. Who gonna stop him? Producers and world famous athletes and former. Now this is where the Brock situation gets into it. Producers and a world famous athlete and former UFC heavyweight champion with whom WWE was actively trying to sign to a new contract, and ultimately did sign that contract, giving a man's omnipotent position at WWE coercion and inherent in his increasingly depraved sexual demands. Specifically, while McMahon was CEO of WWE and Ms. Grant was employed as an entry-level coordinator in the legal department, McMahon recruited individuals to have sexual relations with Ms. Grant, and or with two of them directed Ms. Grant to visit defendant Laurinaitis prior to the start of the work days for sexual encounters, and expected and directed Ms. Grant to engage in sexual activities at the WWE headquarters, even during working hours. So not only she had no say-so, not only did she have to do sexual activities for Vince, she had to do sexual activities for whoever Vince wanted her to do sexual activities for, aka John Laurinaitis. People power. And once again, John Laurinaitis, he's a yes man. He's down for the cause. Anyone that accepted said yes. They were down for the cause. Vince giving me some free ass? Fuck it. I don't know her. Don't matter to me. And they felt safe because they knew Vince had it under control. Appreciate the 5 insanity. The upcoming Vince McMahon Netflix documentary looked like it's going to be put in the gulags. I don't know, man. This is not the right time to be celebrating him right now. Let's see. All this time, McMahon ordered Ms. Grant to keep their relationship secret unless otherwise instructed, including lying to maintain whatever cover stories he fabricated. Which is kind of weird. You say you want to keep it secret, but you're telling certain people at the job that you work with that it's not secret. It's fucking stupid. McMahon assurances that Ms. Grant was safe and independent rang hollow in light of his efforts to isolate her from friends and attempt to chip away at her identity until it was replaced with a desired role for her as his, his B word, his fantasy, or his porn star. Jesus, bro. Occasionally intermixing softer descriptors like girlfriend, baby, even love when convenient. He exercised complete ownership and control over both her personal and professional lives. McMahon also subjected Miss Grant to acts of extreme cruelty and degradation that caused Miss Grant to disassociate or become numb to the reality in order to survive the horrific encounters. As one example of McMahon's extreme depravity, on May 9th, 2020, he defecated on Miss Grant during a threesome and then commanded her to continue pleasuring his friend with feces in her hair and running down her back. While McMahon went to the bathroom to shower off. Upon the return of from his bathroom, McMahon and his friend actively resumed the threesome, which lasted over an hour and a half while Miss Grant remained covered in McMahon's filth. When McMahon's friend left, McMahon ordered her to stay and to continue sexually gratifying him. Once again, these are allegations, but if this is true, he is a sick old man. He's very sick, bro. That's disgusting. But it sounds believable because for those who don't know, a lot of these rich billionaire CEO types, they're not into the norm. They're into some weird shit. I mean, truly weird, disgusting shit. Stuff like that. Normal stuff don't excite them anymore. Vince has been around so many ladies. Normal stuff probably don't excite him no more. Normal stuff is not going to get him up, if you know what I mean. So I can somewhat believe him doing some wild stuff like this, getting off on the fact that he pretty much did the number 2 on this woman and made her still have sexual actions with somebody else. It's wild. It's wild. This is wild. In June 2021, McMahon and defendant Laurinaitis sexually assaulted. Whoa, that's not good. Miss Grant inside Laurinaitis' office in WWE headquarters while colleagues were busy at their desks. Behind the locked door, the two men cornered her, pulled her in between them, and yep. I'm not gonna read that. Nope. I'm not reading that. I didn't know that part. I'm not. Nope. Like I said, some of the stuff I'm not gonna read. Like the text messages and stuff, y'all can check that out. I dropped a link to that, the text messages on the first video talking about it. I'm not reading that. I'm not. Yeah, that's a no. I'm not even. Unsurprisingly, others at WWE knew what was going on, but instead of intervening to protect Miss Grant, WWE actively sought to conceal the wrongdoing. In January 2022, McMahon was told Miss Grant that his wife had found out about their relationship. Purportedly to avoid divorce, negative publicity, and other repercussions. McMahon said that Miss Grant's time at WWE was at an end, but that he wanted her to sign an NDA to ensure her silence, among other things, his personal misconduct. In the days ahead of McMahon put Miss Grant under immense pressure to sign, saying that refusing would not only jeopardize McMahon, his family, and the company, but that she'd surely become a public headline, suffering reputable ruin, including from the pornographic content McMahon had captured. Oh, yeah. And face McMahon's legal resources. Conversely, McMahon reassured her that her signature would ensure his continued support and protection and safeguard her reputation. Ultimately, Ms. Grant succumbed to the pressure and signed the NDA in exchange for payments, which McMahon later stopped making. And we heard about McMahon had made millions of dollars of payment, not to just this particular person, but other women as well that were involved in other different cases. Now, I want to expound on the part of people knowing. This is very telling. I'm pretty sure some higher ups did know. The question is, did Stephanie know? Did Shane know about this? Did Triple H know about this? Did Nick Khan know about this? Did the higher ups at TKO know about this? I'm willing to bet a lot of them probably didn't know. And I mean, we saw Stephanie step back. Once Vince came back, she stepped away. You know, so it's one of those things. How much did they know? How much in question did they know? That's what it comes down to. And it's also one of those things where Vince at one point, if y'all remember, he's trying to hold the company hostage. So he said, y'all can't make any new rights deals because I think Raw, the rights deals was going to, expire. So he said, y'all can't make any new deals without my permission. So he tried to force his way back into the company. Even with them probably knowing, hey, bro, you've been flying too close to the sun. You got to chill. Yeah, bro. This is wild. Now here's where things get even wilder. Even after pushing Ms. Grant out of the company and muzzling her with the NDA, McMahon continued efforts to exploit her, including attempting to traffic her to a WWE star who would be in New York City for a live event and a TV taping in March 2022. Understandably, defendant's predatory conduct has left Ms. Grant crippled both physically and mentally, including from debilitating symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder and suicidal ideations. Her symptoms led to her termination from her subsequent job, running her building operations due to her inability to leave her home for weeks at a time. Let's see. We're gonna kind of skip around here, but in a sense, he pretty much made it very clear that he was gonna throw as much money at her as possible to keep her quiet. WWE has also attempted to sweep the matter under the rug following the media reports that McMahon was involved in a hush money payment scandal, which we saw. WWE released a statement in June 2022 to announce that a special committee of its board of directors was investigating the alleged misconduct and appointing Stephanie McMahon as interim CEO and interim chairwoman. We remember that. In this capacity, Miss McMahon publicly affirmed her commitment to doing everything in her power to help the special committee complete its work and to implement its findings. She also declared the importance of safe and collaborative workspace, notwithstanding the public statement the investigation was a sham, as you can kind of expect. It comes off as a, well, Vince, the water's too hot. You gotta retire for a while. They promoted Stephanie to interim, and there was an internal investigation. People knew, bro. People knew. It's just people weren't gonna say anything. But people knew. And at that time, even if you kicked him out, he still owned majority shares, so there was nothing you can really essentially do at the time. But they voted to keep him out unanimously. Yeah, they did. But guess what? Then he came back because he forced his way back, and they voted him back in. It's one of those things, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy what people will do to sweep things under the rug to make everything look peachy clean when it's really dirty behind the scenes. In November 2022, WWE touted the conclusion of the special committee investigation into misconduct, yet the special committee never even bothered to interview Ms. Grant or request any documents, despite Ms. Grant stating that she would cooperate, which is another telltale sign that they didn't even go to her, one of the potential victims. Instead, they just, we couldn't find anything, guys, which leads me to believe, even though Vince wasn't there, he was still pulling the strings, you know? So, I don't know. Let's skip through. There's some more stuff in here. Let's see. But so far, what y'all think of what we've found out so far just in this document? How y'all feel about the information we've found so far in the document? Because right now, it's it's if these are true events, oh no, they're despicable, bro. They're despicable. Vince, John Laurinaitis, yeah, they're disgusting. If this is actually true, if this is true, they are disgusting, bro. And they need to there need to be some type of accountability held. But once again, we don't know. So this is just her telling of the side of things, but we don't know yet. But Vince's history doesn't help to build his case either. So, and the fact that from what she said, she was pretty much being like looked upon like she was in a bad situation, losing her parents, only for this billionaire to be like, I can save you if you do something for me. Let's see. All right, so I'm guessing. All right, so I'm guessing this is right around the time of her meeting Vince and her showing her resume to potentially get a job to work for him in WWE. On about March 23rd, 2019, Ms. Grant arrived for the meeting in McMahon's condo with additional printed copies of her resume, a black notepad, and thank you cookies. Sitting at his dining table, McMahon looked at Ms. Grant's resume and complimented both her communication skills and common sense before discussing little but their personal lives. For example, Ms. Grant told McMahon about the hardships that led to resident manager's offer to help and described losing her parents, her family, bankruptcy, and other. And Vince is eating that up because he knows, okay, she needs my help. She needs my help. Trauma that led to her to seek financial independence to ensure she would never experience losing her home again. McMahon shared stories about his upbringing, his traumatic childhood, growing up in poverty, and current family dynamics, including his separation from Linda McMahon, described as his ex and long gone. He added his marital status is an arrangement on paper for business purposes, and that he lives a quiet, isolated existence outside of WWE. Now, it's been documented Vince he's been through some stuff as well as a kid, but it's still no excuse for what's been happening behind the scenes and what he's, allegedly has done um as an adult. So we can't I don't, it's yeah, the kid trauma is real, but at the same time we can't excuse some of the stuff that he has done. Let's see. Appreciate the five. This is why TKO has been trying to distance himself from Vince McMahon. I believe they knew. Facts. Jova with the two. I know there are others beside Miss Grant. Yes, they actually are. True proper king. Appreciate the five. How would you feel as a worker if you found out about this, Ross? Especially if Triple H and Steph knew, would you request a release? And that's a very interesting standpoint. That's a very interesting standpoint. If I worked for a company, a very big company, and I found out something about this, of course I'm going to ask Triple H. Of course I'm going to ask the people that obviously I'm close with and work with, yo, did you know about this? Be honest. Be honest. How much did you know? How much could you have done? Because once again, here's what we got to all understand. Damn near everybody in the higher ups could have known. But guess what? Vince had the most power. So it didn't matter. Triple H could have known. Triple H could have probably told him to chill the fuck out. Stephanie, Shane, they grew up with him, so they knew maybe their father's tendencies was a bit questionable. But guess what? It's Vince. What can you do? You could walk out, but then people are gonna ask questions. Why all of a sudden Triple H walk out? Why all of a sudden, people were asking questions when Stephanie walked out, when he came back in. That's your father. Why would you leave? Now the TKO side of things, they don't give a fuck. They ain't give two damns. It's about money. As long as they can keep their distance, I'm sure they knew. That's why they wanted to get him out of there. And once again, it's like it's Vince at that time. He had so much power. There's nothing you could have done. You just kind of gotta be like, either you could tell him, and one or two things happen. Either he'll look at you a certain way and do nothing, or maybe try to fire you, and still nothing will get done. Obviously, this is all alleged, but Ross, let's keep it a bean. What do you think? Yes, appreciate the 5. This is all alleged. I'm gonna be honest with you, just from how he's booked the shows and the reports and counts of all the other situations with other ladies in the company that we've heard about, that people have talked about, this kind of seems believable. You don't want it to be believable, but it definitely kind of seems believable. I'm not saying that it is true, but if I had to give my own opinion on it, some of this stuff don't sound far-fetched. There's a reason why there was an NDA. Anytime an NDA is brought up, there's a reason why it's brought up. Just remember that. You ain't bringing up no NDAs for no reason. You're not trying to hush people up for no reason. The hush money, that was real. Appreciate over 2,000 y'all in here. Make sure you run up the likes. We got 450 likes. We're going to continue some of this. Like I said, I'm not going to read all of it, but we're going to continue some of this. This is the point where she's meeting Vince McMahon and trying to get a job. At the end of the meeting, McMahon told Miss Grant that he didn't want to just give her a job, but give her life. Oh, good. Yeah, that sounds like a Vince thing. I'm not trying to give you a job, no, Miss Grant. No, I want to give you life. Him and his God complex. Jeez. Appreciate the 5. This is most likely barely scratching the surface, and Brock probably isn't the only one Vince pimped a woman out to, potentially. This is just give her life, bro. That's God complex if I've ever seen it. Appreciate the $8. I feel like her career more than dead. His career is overkilled. We don't know. I don't know. We don't know yet. We got to see how things play out. But it's not looking too good for the name Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Stunned, Miss Grant said that she didn't know how to thank him, possibly just changed my life. McMahon responded that one simple thank you was enough and that he'd accept a hug. They stood and embraced. Oh my, bro, this is so predatory. McMahon then told Miss Grant that he'll get the ball rolling on the next steps, but it was a busy time of the year and WWE prepared for WrestleMania, explaining that it was WWE's Super Bowl. He then invited Miss Grant to attend his guest along with resident manager, and it added that he would personally select their seats to have the best possible experience. McMahon advised her that his office would reach out to her to set up a meeting with a trusted official, WWE Corporate Officer number 2. We don't know who that is at WWE headquarters. After asking if her cell was the best number to reach her, McMahon shared his personal phone number with Miss Grant, walked her to his door, and again hugged her while whispering, "So good." Oh my God. This is fucking creepy, bro. Appreciate the 15. I'm not sure the currency. The guy. Vince right now wishing the scene he enters the car and exploded is real. If this stuff is true, then holy. Worst part, there might be more people. Facts. McMahon arranged for Miss Grant to be hired by WWE while beginning to groom her for sexual exploitation. Let's see. Then I guess there's some more meetings. McMahon explained that people are intimidated around him and are afraid to touch him. McMahon added that he is an affectionate person who likes to be hugged and starves for physical affection. McMahon then led Miss Grant on a tour of his condo before hugging her goodbye and again whispering, "Feels so good." Appreciate the 5. I do remember one time when he said he admitted cheating and he said he would cheat with a woman outside of wrestling. It's 50-50 thing. It's a 50-50 thing. What do you think? Sounds plausible. J. Cole with the 10. Thank you so much. This is what's going goes in those billionaire circles. People say it's a conspiracy theory, but this happens a lot. More stuff will be coming out soon. Don't marvel. Be surprised about anything this year. Hey, you're spot on, bro. When people got the money, like I said, they tend to get bored easily. They want stuff that they normally don't do. Let's go through some more of these. Let's see. Da, da, da. At this point, he's essentially grooming her. Yeah, at this point, this is wild. On April 21st, 2019, McMahon unexpectedly invited Miss Grant to his condo to provide her with an update. Upon arrival, McMahon assured her, Miss Grant, that he was a man of his word, that his office would be in touch with her soon with the right role. As she turned to leave, McMahon grabbed a large black electric massager and told Miss Grant to turn around for a demonstration. He quickly moved to rubbing his hands on Miss Grant upper back before reminding her that she would hear from his office about the next steps a day. Yeah, this whole section is just him bullshitting her and basically trying to get her more and more to be comfortable. He's grooming. He could have easily found any fucking bullshit ass opening. He's the owner of the company. He can give her a bullshit ass job if he wanted to. But he's grooming her to get her to be more comfortable. And he's stringing her along with in a couple of days, I got you. In a couple of days, I got you. In a couple of days, they're going to call you. That's literally what he was doing. And she's being desperate, needs money. Okay, all right, I can hold on, I guess. This is wild, bro. This is fucking wild. That's literally what he was doing this entire time, just bullshitting her, telling her, "Hey, I got you," knowing damn well you weren't gonna do anything until you finally got to that point. And I think we're getting to that point right here. McMahon then stood up from his chair, knelt in front of the chair where Miss Grant was seated, blocking her from standing. He leaned close to Miss Grant and told her to kiss him. Miss Grant paused and gave McMahon a kiss on the cheek, to which McMahon sighed, "Nah, that's not what I meant." Yep. I mean, he had a whole storyline of treating Trish Stratus like a fucking dog. Do we not forget that? Okay. Appreciate the 5. It does make perfect sense now. He is a perfected his heel persona as a womanizing abuser of power. Plenty of life experience. Yeah. They say sometimes your best role as, when you're trying to be a good wrestler, it's like an extension of yourself. Vince McMahon on screen is the same Vince McMahon behind the cameras, bro. The fact that VKM managed to hold power after the TKO takeover after forcing him back, NDAs and Steph leading should have raised a lot of red flags. It did. It did. It definitely did. But then things got quiet. Like I said, this has been known. We're just now seeing it now when everything is quote unquote going good for WWE. Let's see. After McMahon walked off to his bedroom and said that he wanted Miss Grant, she swiftly rejected his advances and tried to reason with him that he was putting her in a bad position. Miss Grant pled with McMahon to stop and think about what he was doing. McMahon then begged repeatedly simply to hold Miss Grant. billionaire over here pleading to be held by a woman, sicko mode, out for fear of her employment and his early implied threats about legal team dealing with the problems. Ms. Grant laid down in the bed next to McMahon and kept her hands clasped and ankles crossed as she acquiesced in saying that he could only hold her but nothing more. When Ms. Grant tried to make small talk about WWE's TV storylines, McMahon suggested that she watch the next episode of Monday Night Raw and text him before the broadcast. After she agreed, he forcibly kissed her and began pulling up. Yep. Nope. Nope. I'm gonna skip all that. Once it gets a little bit wild, I skip it. I'm not even dealing with that. I appreciate the 5, Ryan. I wonder why those times in the Attitude Era where there were erotic segments, Sable, Trish, Stacy, Lita. And guess what? We've heard before. Them ladies, they had to do whatever segment Vince said. If y'all go back and watch just some of those clips, a lot of those clips involving these women kissing Vince, rubbing on Vince, guess what? They had to. There was no don't do it. They had to. Appreciate the 10. What about Brock Ross? He shouldn't be downplayed. He was willing member. Also, if he was good, he would have reported it. Brock is icky and has been bad to me for years. He's just as guilty. Don't forget. And yes, he's been implicated in these documents as well. I don't think we got fully to that part yet, but at the same time, we don't know how true that is. All this, once again, is speculation, but Vince and Brock are very cool. And if you guys remember, when Vince retired, Brock was about to no-show that SmackDown. I remember. He was about to no-show the SmackDown. He wasn't going to show up. Vince had to talk him into showing up. Very, very interesting loyalty. Very interesting. Let's see. While incredibly excited to finally receive a long-awaited employment and financial security, Ms. Grant expressed to McMahon that there seemed to be a conflict between his doing this and his warning to Ms. Grant that no one could know about their closeness. He appeared amused with this, replying, "It's my company." The ego play. It's his company. That one line, "It's my company." It doesn't matter who knows. He just didn't want certain people knowing. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter because it's his company. He can get away with whatever he wants. At least that's what he thought. Let's see. All right. So this is where things start to switch up. On May 16, McMahon informed Ms. Grant that he had obtained 2 tickets to the Belmont Stakes scheduled for June 8, 2019. On May 17th, Ms. Grant received an offer letter from WWE at an entry-level job as legal administrator coordinator with a salary of $75,000. On May 18, 2019, McMahon summoned Ms. Grant to his condo, and she brought a printed copy of the offer letter to review with him. McMahon informed Ms. Grant that her new boss, a WWE employee who worked in risk and government relations, referred to herein as WWE employee number 1, was a decade-long family friend and confidant, similar in the age to McMahon and one of the small original group. What McMahon called the Titan family. Very interesting. Don't know who that person is. Who helped the WWE expand from regional promotion to a global juggernaut. So this is someone very close to Vince, which they probably know what type of time Vince is on. Hey, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button. Well, I appreciate everyone that's joining in. Kevin Dunn, could be. I don't know. That's a very good guess right there. Don't know. Maybe Kevin Dunn. That would make that could be possibly. Didn't I want to say Kevin Dunn just recently left WWE if I'm not mistaken. No, John Laurinaitis is named in the documents. Hold on. I could have sworn he was it Kevin Dunn? Yeah. Kevin Dunn just recently left WWE. Yeah, he just left WWE. Very interesting. Huh. I don't know. I think Bruce Pritchard is still there, though. John Laurinaitis. Well, they named John Laurinaitis in the document, so it's not John Laurinaitis. They've already named him in the document, so it's not him who they're talking about. Let's see. Let's see. Oh yeah. Basically, McMahon coerced her into sexual activities that she didn't want. McMahon stated, "This is what I've been waiting for," as he performed. Whoa. Yep. Not reading that. Feeling that she was being used for his gratification, Ms. Grant went numb and was unable to make eye contact. McMahon then flipped on his back and said, "Okay." I'm not reading that either. This is wild. This is wild. On June 16, 2019, the day before starting the new the WWE, Ms. Grant attempted to shut down any further physical contact or sexual encounters by admitting to McMahon her unhappiness and concern, stating her first ever job in his legal department, no less, while in a physical relationship with the chairman and CEO. She requested that they end any physical relationship while remaining friends to avoid any risk to either of them. Of course, McMahon refused, saying that it was not the end, it was not ending, it did not need to, and that he did not ever envision it ending. Good. He reminded her that he trusted her, reiterated that rumors would lead to trouble, probed whether her silence would be an issue, and brushed off her concerns that she was struggling with the feeling that her job felt unearned. Vince didn't care. I said this. As soon as he hugged her and was saying the weird stuff, it was over. There was nothing. It was over. That's wild. That sucks because she's in a situation. She's telling him, "Hey, we can't do this. Nah, we're going to do this because I said so." Appreciate the 10. What up, Ross? How's your day? Who do you want to win the Royal Rumble this year? I hope it's Cody, but I have a feeling it's CM Punk. Either way, it's going to be a great pay-per-view this year. Appreciate that. I would like it to be CM Punk, but I wouldn't have a problem if it's Gunther, to be honest with you. But I would like it to be CM Punk, but we can I'm gonna definitely talk about that in my preview and prediction video. Yeah. This is insanity. Miss Grant's WWE career commences minimum work and an absent boss. On June 17th, 2019, Miss Grant reported to WWE headquarters for her first day of work with attorneys in glass offices and support staff in cubicles with low walls and tall monitors. It was easy to see how much her other colleagues worked. As a quiet, small department, it was even easier to overhear their conversations. Ms. Grant was immediately surprised that there was not much work assigned to her, struggling even to appear to be busy in her new role, in stark contrast to her colleagues who complained about overflowing inboxes. Ms. Grant's phone only overflowed with controlling and sexually charged text messages from the chairman CEO, reminding her both of McMahon's power and ever-present surveillance. So she basically got a fake free job. It was just a job that she's not doing anything. She's getting paid for it. And the only thing she really was doing was responding to Vince McMahon's ego. That's it. Everybody else was actually working. She was just there. Disgusting by how guilty till proven innocent is what people go by. This is true. Like I said, we don't know yet. We don't know. This is all speculation. But I think the problem is it's hard to give the benefit of the doubt when we know who we're talking about. That's the only thing. We know Vince has been on on that type of time. We just didn't know in great detail. This is far worse than the Katie Vick storyline. That was awful too. That was awful. Truly awful. Let's see. We're gonna kind of go through this. Let's see. Outside the office, McMahon sexualized her entirely. He no longer referred to her as a friend or largely stopped talking to Ms. Grant outside of sexting and fantasy talk. Any non sexual texts related to life or work were either ignored or given token responses like okay or yep. Hold on, y'all. What is going on? Trying to make sure YouTube's not receiving. Hold on, I need to fix the damn stream. I may have to up the bit rate. Yep. Well, no, it seems to be good now. Okay, there we go. Yeah, something happened. I don't know. Something happened with the connection for a little bit. It should be showing clear to you guys. Should be good now. Um, so basically at this point, he only wanted her for sexual purposes. It didn't matter about anything else. Um, and she even tried to talk about anything outside of sexual stuff. She didn't care. She didn't care. Well, he didn't care. It was all about pleasuring him. Um McMahon began to degrade Miss Grant, calling her his you know what, while hinting at a fascination while having other people watch them engage in sexual activities. Um let's see. Just he was just on demon time legitimately. Notably, McMahon was aggressive when using certain sex toys named after male WWE wrestlers and performers. Hold on. Please tell me this nigga wasn't out here using sexual toys named after some of his favorite wrestlers. Please tell me he ain't out here using the Hulk Hogan dildo. It's going right in your brother. Or the Stone Cold vibrator. Give me a hell yeah. Like, please tell me he's not using the People's Champ vibrator. Or the Roman Reigns experience. Like, what? Oh my. Let's get back to it. I'm sorry, y'all. This is this is this is this is wild, bro. Someone said the big dog. This is fucking. Oh my god. Anywho, some of this I haven't even seen myself. So a lot of this I didn't go into great detail. A lot of this I didn't know that was in this fucking article, in this court document. Okay, my man named sex toys so that the color of the toy matched the race of the wrestler. For example, a black dildo would be named after an African American wrestler, and a white dildo would be named after a Caucasian wrestler. In addition to McMahon's infatuation with pretending that other men, and namely certain WWE talent, were in the room with them, was yet another incremental step of desensitizing Miss Grant to his fantasies and eventually demanding that she perform sexual acts or have sexual contact with others with it. This is this is what are we doing here, bro? This better not be true. Because if any ounce of any of these goddamn 67 pages is true, nah, bro. Nah. Throw him under the jail. Get him out of here, bro. Get him out of here, bro. During the David versus Goliath type wrestling match in 2019, Ms. Grant shared with McMahon her thoughts on the event, the draw of rooting for the underdog, and the ideas of future events. McMahon complimented her creative input. I wish she probably. I'm willing to bet she probably came up with some better creative input than his fucking horny ass. She believed she was being taken seriously. That is, until McMahon named a dildo after the smaller wrestler and attempted to sexualize the situation, diminishing her input. So she's over here trying to give actual booking creative ideas only for this sicko to be like, yeah, we're gonna pretend this dildo is that said wrestler and we're gonna have some fun. Appreciate the 2. I thought it couldn't get worse than 2022. What the fuck? Oh, it got a whole lot worse. Make sure you run up the likes button. Appreciate everyone that's in here right now. Let's see. We're gonna keep going through this. It's a lot of wildness right here. This is just insanity, bro. Okay. In the weeks followed, despite McMahon's warning about rumors and direction to Miss Grant to play dumb, he began showing explicit photos of Miss Grant to people both inside and outside the company, which is fucking stupid. On March 26, 2020, McMahon sent a lengthy message to Miss Grant describing in detail the circumstances surrounding sharing explicit photographs of Miss Grant to a former WWE referee, referred to herein as WWE referee. Why is he showing explicit pictures to a referee? Why? Vince, John Laurinaitis, Brock, all of them officers should be thrown into prison to get the beats and should be sentenced to expiration of life if guilty. Hey, man, if this is all true, yeah, they need to get dealt with. This is weird, bro. Why the referee needs to know? He assured that the referee's loyalty is to him. I bet sharing of explicit photos terrified Miss Grant as it illustrated McMahon's sheer lack of self-control. Facts. And it further panicked her that these private, intimate photos would include her face were being shared with complete strangers. That's fair criticism. On March 30, 2020, McMahon enthusiastically messaged Miss Grant that WWE referee had showed a friend of a naked photo of Miss Grant, which marked the beginning of McMahon sharing Miss Grant naked pictures with others. What the? Oh my, bro, this is some high school shit, bro. This is This nigga's old as hell, old as dirt, and just oh my, this is stupid. And to the ref that's cool with that shit, shit's lame. It's dumb. Jeez, bro. I've never met a petulant child that old who happened to be a billionaire. Just ridiculous. In May 2020, McMahon recruited an individual whom he manipulatively, I can't even say it, manipulatively, I fucked it up, referred to as his friend to engage in a threesome with McMahon and Miss Grant, which we seen earlier in the document. The friend turned out to be McMahon's physical therapist, an alternative clinic, and is referred to herein as physical therapist. Bro, his physical therapist was getting in on the mix. Appreciate the $1, man. Epstein Part 2, appreciate the 2. I'm willing to bet he definitely was on that island, and he probably knew what was going on. But we're not gonna go into that. The physical therapist is getting into the mix. Donald Trump is a complete child, and he's older. Fair point. Fair fucking point. Fair point. Um, this is where we heard about the whole defecating part, and then these are the text messages. I'm not gonna go through them. Like I said, I already have the link to the text messages, so if you guys want to check that out, they're yeah they're disgusting too. I'm gonna skip these. Like I said, link to the text messages on the original video of me talking about this whole situation. The detail that makes it believable to me is that he clearly picked Grant as a victim because she was in a rough place and was less likely to assert herself. That's a very good point. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Appreciate the 10. That's a very, 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 very good point. Very good point. Is it still lagging? Should be good. We should be good right here. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Let's see. Make sure y'all go ahead and hit that like button. We're still going through this. Like I said, once again, these are. So I'm gonna read this. A month later, McMahon reminded Ms. Grant about the far-reaching results of his texting out explicit content of her. By now, thousands of men you see every day all over the world, they all want to F you. Around this time, McMahon openly shared explicit photographs and salacious stories about Ms. Grant with WWE crew and TV tapings at a group. McMahon also referred to her as fan club. Indeed, McMahon exuberantly messaged her a truthful story of having just shared explicit content of her with a group of 12 men on the WWE tech crew and recounted the obscene details he shared with them. Look at this. Just passed my phone around to a bunch of guys on the tech crew. They were screaming, OMG, she's effing beautiful. Look at that ass. Bro, all right. That's that's fucking stupid, bro. On the occasion when Ms. Grant informed McMahon that she was physically injured during their sexual encounter, McMahon responded varied from apologies to non-accountable pushback and blaming impulse control. When encounters were particularly brutal, Ms. Grant learned to book in the truth of her injuries with compliments to create the least amount of pushback from McMahon. However, Ms. Grant sustained brutal and painful injuries, including bleeding, swelling, bruising, spans of ink continuance resulting from McMahon's forceful use of his fists, adult toys, objects unsafe for vaginal insertion, or man, this dude here. McMahon recruits Laurinaitis into his exploitation of Miss Grant, and yep, this is where Laurinaitis they go into great detail of Laurinaitis and his devious deeds. Um, let's see. So basically, the physical therapist and John Laurinaitis, they were getting in on the action. It seems like as I'm going through this, especially when she got transferred to the Department of Talent Relations, where John Laurinaitis was at, it kind of it makes sense. Wow, that's Vince's right hand man. On March 12, 2021. So this has been going on for some time, y'all. This started in 2019. We're already in 2021, and this is still going on. McMahon reminded her of her connection between her job and her role as a sexual object. Let's work hard and play hard too. On March 16, 2021, Ms. Grant was directed to pick up a key to Laurinaitis' hotel room and serve herself to him as breakfast before the start of oh my jeez, bro. McMahon constantly reinforced the expectation that Ms. Grant sexually performed for him and her new boss Laurinaitis both in and out the office, McMahon wrote on March 22nd. Do you promise to make me proud, baby? Will you show him what a porn star you can be? Will you show off for me like never before on the days when he's in town? I want him to fuck F you every morning and later in the office too. The man also indicated on April 2nd, 2021, that Ms. Grant should obey if Laurinaitis wanted to bring in yet more men. Oh my, this is maybe he wants two other guys to join with him. Holy S, you've told him you would do anything with him. So if he surprised you with two other, would you have no alternative than to take them on? OMG, the stories you could tell me then. Oh, bro, he's just, bro, there's no way. This is just wild. Ms. Grant left the conversation with McMahon hoping that she can escape this situation with her finances and reputation intact. She just needed to survive until that point. Yeah. So this is right before he promised her vice president, a vice president level of vice president position, and spend a year or two in the position that she would be able to take the experience anywhere. So basically, it's like an out. Like you can get this position, and then you can leave, and people will, oh, you was a vice president or whatever in WWE. That's awesome, and then she would be good. But in actuality, he wasn't gonna let her leave, no matter what position she took. As we keep scrolling down, those compliments will keep coming, baby. Just wait and see. I totally understand and agree. Being scared of communication in photos. Johnny gets drunk and sloppy and can easily make a mistake that could cost him his job and yours too. What is, bro? This that's wild. That's really wild that he can sit up here and send pictures of this woman to everybody in the office that he wants to send pictures to, but want to try to pass off blame if anything happens and to keep it hush hush when he's not even keeping it hush hush. If these are true, that doesn't even make fucking sense. That's stupid. Um, the Mandalorian Eyes confined Ms. Grant to an office for an abusive sexual. Nope. I'm skipping all that. The man uses Miss Grant as a sexual pawn to entice world famous wrestling talent to keep WWE superstar under contract with WWE. Now, this is the Brock Lesnar stuff. Supposedly, allegedly, this is the Brock where Brock comes into the mix, maybe some other WWE superstars. All right. WWE Superstar is famous worldwide as a top talent with WWE with a large collective fan base that helps generate viewerships and drives in-person attendance of all which enrich WWE McMahon. Upon information and belief, McMahon began to recruit WWE Superstar for a sexual encounter with Miss Grant while she was still a coordinator in the legal department. By July of 2021, McMahon informed Miss Grant that WWE Superstar would be their next playmate. As in other instances, McMahon described his fantasy of seeing Miss Grant engaged in unmerciful sexual acts with WWE Superstar, during which he would rip her open. Oh, that sounds like a Brock. And y'all know how close they are, and it kind of aligns with him naming certain dildos his favorite wrestler and him imagining his favorite wrestler watching him doing these things to this woman. Yeah, that sounds about right. Now the question comes in, does Brock willingly knows about this and just goes along with it? Which this article, not article, this statement, court document alludes to. Um, yeah, bro, this is fucking wild. This is just truly. Whew. Let's see. Where are we? McMahon also confided to Ms. Grant that he wanted to have WWE Superstar under a new contract, while WWE Superstar indicated an interest in return to other professional endeavors. Definitely sounding like Brock. On or about July 12, 2021, McMahon directed Miss Grant to create personalized sexual content for the WWE superstar. Hold on. For the WWE superstar, and then informed Miss Grant that he likes what he sees. On July 21st, wow, wait. So McMahon shared the photos with WWE superstar and then informed Miss Grant that he likes what he sees. Potentially Brock here. On July 21st, 2021, McMahon flew and or caused WWE superstar to fly on a jet onto a local airport to travel into Connecticut across state lines for what you see across state lines. Anywho, for what McMahon described to Miss Grant as a business dinner, as well as a sexual encounter with Miss Grant in McMahon's condo. Upon information and belief, the dinner was discussed. WWE superstars continued involvement with WWE prior to this business dinner with McMahon. WWE superstar made a brief visit to Ms. Grant's building. However, WWE superstar did not return to the building for a sexual encounter because he was too intoxicated and taken back to the plane. Later that evening, after McMahon recounted the stories about his dinner with WWE superstars to Miss Grant, he sought to salvage the night with a request that they role play a sexual encounter in which McMahon acted as if he was a WWE superstar. McMahon was so physically rough with Miss Grant during this encounter that Miss Grant begged McMahon to stop numerous of times. That's not good. We're gonna skip this. Hold on, y'all, real quick. Hold on. All right. So I see some of y'all were saying Matt Riddle. Well, I don't think it is Riddle. It's Brock. Y'all can't remember they were trying to make Brock resign in 2022. I don't think it is Riddle. I don't think it is Riddle. The reason why I say I don't think it is Riddle is because I never really got the idea that Riddle and Vince were really close like that. I don't think they were. I think Riddle was. I don't think it was a situation they were trying to re-sign Riddle either. So I don't know. And he's not a former UFC champion either, too. So Riddle was never champ. So yeah, it's definitely not Riddle. Uh, so yeah, I don't believe it was Riddle. We're gonna skip past all of this. On August 26, 2021, WWE held its second biggest annual event, SummerSlam, in Las Vegas, Allegiant Stadium. Around that time, McMahon and WWE superstar privately reached an informal agreement about his return. That night, McMahon texted Miss Grant a reminder that she was an enslaved object. Jeez, to him, I want to drive you lower and lower, so low that you might beg me to sell you. Yep. Yep. That's yeah, this is insanity. Appreciate everyone that's in here right now. Drive you lower? Yes. That's what she claims she said. McMahon continued to advertise a sexual encounter with Miss Grant to the WWE superstar during the formal negotiating of the new booking contract with WWE. Someone said, but it's Riddle. Yeah. Um, Here's what Blank said after I told him that part of the deal. You was effing the deal was effing you. LOL. That's your turf. She will be ruined after me and leave your ass. Plus after me, your tool won't fit anymore. So if that's what Brock said, and you see how they left out the name, that's very telling. That's very telling. If that's what Brock said to Vince, yeah, bro. Yeah. Did someone say, here comes the pain? All right, Zero. I'm not doing this with you. Appreciate the $1 Havoc. I'm not doing this with you. And once again, for context, Brock and Vince, they're close. They're very close. This is not something that's hasn't been talked about. They're very close. Why leave out the name? That's very interesting. That's not on purpose. I mean, that's not accidental. They're leaving out the name for whatever reason we don't know why. So there got to be some other stuff at play here. Very interesting. Very interesting. If these are true. In December 2021, McMahon gave Ms. Grant personal cell number to WWE Superstar and promised she'll do anything requested of her. In the days that followed, WWE Superstar revealed a fetish to Ms. Grant and tested McMahon's promise that Ms. Grant will do anything. This is where things get really weird. Well, it's already weird. With a request that she send a video of herself urinating. Unable to recognize herself, Ms. Grant went numb and obeyed. WWE Superstar informed Ms. Grant if she had not complied with the request, WWE Superstar would have lost any interest in her and then called her the B word. That same month, WWE Superstar expressed to Ms. Grant his desires to set a play date and have a sexual encounter. However, a snowstorm changed WWE Superstar's travel plan, and Ms. Grant ultimately used the weather and COVID-19 as an excuse to back out. Well, there you go. This is the Brock situation. Now, once again, we don't know for certain, but the dates are starting to line up too. What year was that Brock returned at SummerSlam? Let me check. Hold on. Just oh, that was 2021. Huh. Let's go back up here. Where was SummerSlam in 2021? Where was SummerSlam in 2021? Oh, Allegiant Stadium. Huh. Let's go. Let's go right here. This is July. August. Allegiant Stadium. Around that time, McMahon and WWE Superstar privately reached an informal agreement about his return. That night, McMahon had texted Ms. Grant a reminder that she was an enslaved object. We read that. Huh. I'm just saying. It couldn't have been Matt Riddle. Once again, we don't know. But the dates line up if this is true. I'm just saying. That don't. That don't sound promising. That don't sound good for him. That don't sound good at all. All right, McMahon tells Miss Grant that his wife has learned about her and pressures Miss Grant for NDA. This is where the NDA gets involved. Let's see. This is on January 14th, 2022, bro. The man sent Miss Grant a to-do list for purposes of effect effectuating the NDA, such as retaining counsel, and also included an offer for one-on-one career coaching. McMahon suggested that the list had been drafted by WWE corporate officer number 2, who we don't know. Before Ms. Grant retained counsel, McMahon discussed the amount of money that would be exchanged for the NDA to settle on a lump sum of $3 million. After Ms. Grant told McMahon in his initial offer of $1 million was not enough to compensate for the lost earning potential, in fact, that she would be unable to continue the promised career trajectory of vice president, as well as failing to last as a director for a full year. So basically, Linda found out, wanted Vince was like, all right, we're going to have to do an NDA, and she wanted $3 million, and Vince's initial offer was $1 million, which once again he promised her all these fancy things, which was really all a ruse to do sexual things and to keep her around. Now, appreciate the 40, man. Now that makes sense. Farmer Brock hunt for pussy. Y'all are dark, bro. Y'all are dark. Let's see. So that makes sense. That kind of aligns. Basically, even though they, Linda and Vince weren't really together, they're together in a sense of monetary. Not obviously not trying to get a divorce. Uh Before Ms. Grant retained counsel, McMahon called Ms. Grant with an update and informed her that McMahon's attorney and counsel for WWE insisted on installment payments due to cash flow purposes. When Ms. Grant responded that this reason did not make sense for a billionaire, just saying, McMahon insisted that this was not his idea. Now, I get it. They kind of have to split it up because it is going to look funny if you just drop $3 million. Granted, you can do that because you're a billionaire, so you can find a way to finesse it. But to kind of keep things under wrap, you drop it in different installments. Even though, once again, if he wanted to, he can drop $3 million like it's nothing. But he wasn't really trying to pay that much anyway. On or about January 19, 2022, Ms. Grant advised McMahon that she had contacted Celebrity Doctor about an attorney referral, and on that physician's recommendations, and upon McMahon's approval, she signed a retainer agreement with the lawyer that later that day. On January 24, 2022, McMahon continued to engage in sexual text messages exchanges with Ms. Grant, including encouraging her to send an explicit photo to the WWE superstar. McMahon also requested Ms. Grant send him content she had sent to WWE superstar, which is fucking stupid when you already know that you need to let this situation go and die out. Linda has found out. You're still, like I said, for him to be so smart in the wrestling world, he is a complete idiot. Stupid. Why? Why would you keep doing it? It's over. Let it go. It's just, oh my, bruh. The negotiation of the NDA were brief, lasting only 8 days. Ms. Grant reminded McMahon that the NDA ought to address people who knew about their relationship, including but not limited to WWE Corporate Officer number 1, WWE Corporate Officer number 2, John Laurinaitis, McMahon's personal assistant. Ms. Grant and her attorney sought to incorporate the list of individuals who had acknowledged of their relationship into a Schedule A, and in the NDA, Ms. Grant requested revisions that flatly rejected by McMahon and WWE, who reverted to their original draft rather than incorporate any of her proposed changes, with the exception that as of the date of execution, Ms. Grant would not speak of the relationship. The reason Brock was able to beat the streak, he's stupid, bro. On or around January 26, 2022, McMahon articulated even more pressing to get the NDA signed, immediately informing Ms. Grant that he was under a tight deadline report pending of threatening legal actions to the WWE Board of Directors, specifically the Audit Committee, and that McMahon and his attorneys could not do so unless Ms. Grant signed the NDA. So at this point, they're pressuring her to sign it while he was not too long ago asking her to send lewd pictures. What are we doing? What are we doing? On or around January 26, 2022, Ms. Grant became overwhelmed that she asked to simply give notice without the need for payment, even offering to sign a napkin or post it as a sign of goodwill. McMahon flatly rejected her desire to back out. On January 27, 2022, just 8 days after Ms. Grant had hired an attorney, McMahon left Ms. Grant a lengthy audio message explaining why they needed to go through with the NDA, pushing her to hurry up and sign the NDA, and advised that he would be double fucked if she did not, presumably referring to both his divorce and report of the board of directors. See, this is where things start to get a little bit more interesting. Because one, he didn't want that divorce. Because if he gets that divorce, if Linda files for the divorce, it's GG's. It's up. It's over for him. Financially, he's not to split that shit. It's infidelity. It's raps. And he didn't want the board of directors knowing. But they knew something was up. This is where things got a little dicey for Vince McMahon. That's crazy, bro. Also, the deadline to sign the NDA was pushed up from January 31st to January 28th. At this point, he's pressing her to sign it. In a state of mental defeat and fear, McMahon's threats, Miss Grant succumbed to his unrelenting pressure and signed the NDA just before the deadline of January 28, 2022. And on February 4th, Miss Grant was wired $1 million as the first installment of the NDA. On February 28th, 2022, Ms. Grant was wired $10,000 to cover her attorney fees incurred in connection with the NDA. Both wires were sent with the originator described as Vincent K. McMahon, CO, WWF, and originator address. That's the address. On February 9th, 10th, 2022, Ms. Grant gave notice to Laurinaitis and put human resource at WWE and official notice that she was leaving WWE. After the NDA was signed, McMahon, wearing only a white robe, met Miss Grant in his condo to review the outstanding business items. As Miss Grant was proceeding to the door, leaving, McMahon grabbed her arm before she exited and commanded her to do one last thing. Get on your... This nigga gotta go, bro. This nigga gotta go, bro. He is truly the worst. After he forced her to sign that NDA, he still kept pushing the issue. I'm telling you, if this shit is true, this nigga he is Satan. He is Satan, bro. That's just stupid. As McGrant knelt to the hard floor, barely a few feet away from the front door, McMahon opened his robe and ordered her to eat him. And nope. I'm skipping all of that shit. On March 2nd, 2022, while Miss Grant was away on a trip to Florida, McMahon called Miss Grant to advise that it would possibly be the last time she would hear from him. If she needed anything, to contact WWE Corporate Office number 1, WWE Corporate Office number 2. Over the course of an approximate half-hour call, the man lamented both in his inability to focus on the upcoming WrestleMania and how his personal life had blown up over the past few weeks. Toward the end of their conversation, McMahon and Ms. Grant agreed to resume contact after WrestleMania. He also instructed Ms. Grant to continue having sexual relations with other men, including WWE superstars in the meantime. What is going on? When did Vince retire? Hold on. When did he initially retire? Okay, so this is right before he retired. So if y'all remember, Vince retired in July 22nd of 2022. He retired July 22nd, 2022. This is right before then. This is literally a few months before then. Huh. Huh. Let's see. On March 30th, Ms. Grant counsel received a call from a man's attorney advising there has been an anonymous email about the relationship between Ms. Grant and Mr. McMahon and Laurinaitis. Y'all remember there was an email that was anonymous. No one knew who it was. That was leaked. That was sent out. Later in June and July, stories were published regarding the matter of McMahon's multiple NDAs. This was just one of them, with various women associated with WWE and others. Ms. Grant did not receive another payment under her NDA in February of 2023. So at that point, she didn't receive nothing else. She got the $1 million plus the $10,000 for the attorney fees. She was supposed to get $3 million. She never got nothing else. Never got nothing else. Further, despite assurances from a man that he would cover her medical care and the costs associated with her tax liability for a $1 million payment, McMahon has refused to cover those costs. McMahon continued to pay for Ms. Grant medical care until April 15th of 2022. Then it abruptly ceased. Gifts given to the plaintiff during the time of WWE in association with McMahon. From 2019 to early 2022, McMahon provided Ms. Grant with gifts to keep her under McMahon's control. Upon information and belief, the gifts provided to Ms. Grant included one purchased by McMahon and expended them to WWE. That's crazy. So not he's buying the stuff, but expense them out as if they were a company expense. Huh. Which you're not supposed to do, to be honest with you. It's technically, you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to buy stuff for other people and then expend it out as a business expense when you know it's not the case. Examples of items by Ms. Grant from McMahon in 2019 included the following: an alternative clinic medical care and medical and cosmetic service and products, clubhouse access to Belmont Steaks, WrestleMania private full day transportation premium tickets, a $2,000 Nordstrom gift card, and a massive box of Godiva. Oh man, he's spinning the bread. Gotta have the fucking Godiva chocolates. I think that's the chocolates, right, y'all? The Godiva. Yep, that's the chocolates. Oh man. Example of items received by Ms. Grant from McMahon in 2020, including the following: $20,000 towards surgery paid directly to a surgeon's office. That's very interesting. Pearl diamond pave lariat necklace in Betteridge in Greenwich, Connecticut. Blue cashmere knee-length cardigan, blueberry check cashmere scarf, just a whole bunch of expensive shit from Nordstrom. A large bouquet of flowers delivered approximately every other week. This nigga here, bro. Examples of items received by Ms. Grant in 2021 included a 2022 BMW 430. What? $5,000 gift certificate to a spa, 2 private chef catered dinners in McMahon's condo, gold and diamond paved paperclip necklace, a $15,000 Bloomingdale's gift card, food assortments display, an antique tea ceremony set from Saudi Arabia, and large bouquet of flowers delivered approximately every other week. Huh. Vince Simpman. That's it. And she accepted all of it. I mean, gone, to be honest with you. What's she gonna do? Tell him no? This is one of them situations where, once again, I know the argument's gonna be, oh, why she didn't just walk away? She couldn't. If this to be true, if what she's saying is true, she couldn't. Because he already made it clear you wasn't going anywhere. The only reason why it stopped, because Linda found out. What, she denies the gifts? What? He's still going to want something from her, whether she denies the gifts or not. That's the only thing she can really do, is just take what he's giving her. Ross said it should have been me. You stupid, bro. That's one of those things where it's like, when a nigga has that much money, even if you deny the gifts, Now it's gonna, oh, you don't like the gifts? You don't want to upset me. The budget cuts. Oh, you, yeah, yeah. The budget cuts went to her. Miss Grant was a subordinate and vulnerable victim to predators, not a consenting and willing participant. Um, yeah, we kind of just went through a lot of these already, as you can tell. This is wild. Upon information to believe, numerous other independent contractor employees, as well as executives and board members within WWE, knew of suspected McMahon's misconduct involving Miss Grant, including by being shown explicit photos of Miss Grant by McMahon. How would they have fucking known? Because of Vince. Because Vince couldn't keep his mouth shut, so he told people. So that's how people knew. It baffles my mind if you tell people potentially of what you're doing. I don't know. Maybe your wife may find out about it. Can we? Is that a rational thought? Come on now. Come on. Come on now. My man's abuse of Miss Grant did not come as a surprise to anyone at WWE, because he faced numerous prior accusations of sexual misconduct, including, now we're getting into the history. In '94, former WWE referee Rita Chatterson alleged that McMahon had her after luring her into a limousine to discuss her career. She recounted it in a New York magazine. I was forced into you know what with Vince McMahon when I couldn't complete his desires. He really got angry, started ripping off my jeans. I wanted a $500,000 a year contract that I had to satisfy him. He could make or break me if I didn't satisfy him. I was blackballed, and that was it. I was done. In February '06, Palm Beach reported that McMahon had shown nude pictures of himself to a tanning booth attending at a Tanza bar in Boca Raton, Florida, and subsequently made unwelcome advances and finally cornered her in a tanning booth. And, well, yeah. A former spa manager in California accused McMahon of assault at a resort in 2011. To further illustrate the knowledge of the cultural and sexual misconduct at WWE, top level executives not only failed to properly investigate the abuse, but also compounded Ms. Grant's suffering by making public statements that trivialized and harm perpetuated upon her. Circumstances surrounding NDA is in its invalidity and McMahon's and WWE disregard for the NDA. Ms. Grant, regardless, even if it was enforceable, McMahon has breached a core term of the NDA. He paid $1 million, but failed to make any other further payments, including the installments of $500,000 that would be paid within 10 days on February 1st under Section VB of the agreement. So he failed on his own NDA that he forced her to sign. Huh. So people can't really, oh, why she's coming out with it now? Well, she broke the NDA. She didn't even get paid. It'd be different if she got paid the money. And then if she violated the NDA, then that's a whole nother situation. But she didn't even get paid her full amount. So he violated it. He did. Ms. Grant, life after abuse and resulting damages. She has ongoing fears. Additional retaliation was so severe that she requested extended inpatient treatment. Today, she lives with so much anxiety and depression, and so she's unable to leave her residence for weeks at a time out of fear and PTSD. Due to this trauma and inability to leave her home, Ms. Grant was terminated from employment on January 27, 2023, where she lost not only her dream job of managing her building, but the only job she could procure without the need of any references. Ms. Grant lost income. Lost income is $80,000 per year. The severe restrictions of the NDA have created a wedge in all of Miss Grant's relationships and left her in a perpetual state of isolation as her family has passed away and she cannot and does not lean on the support of the community due to its NDA restrictions. Further, Miss Grant has experienced weight loss, insomnia, rashes, flashbacks to her exploitation nightmares, panic attacks, depression. Now they're hitting her with the court jargon now. Now, this part right here, oh, they're running it up. Once they start getting into nightmares, panic attacks, depression, insomnia, rashes, can't leave in the house, now it's, all right, now we're running it up. Now she's running it up. And to be honest with you, if you're in that situation and you see what type of potential leverage you may have to get back at someone, wouldn't you run it up? That's a real question for y'all to answer. Would you run it up? Would you start really getting into your bag? That's a real question. Would anyone look at you differently before it? After you dealt with years. This started in 2019, y'all. That's all I'm saying. For example, we have this scenario all the time. If a trucking company or a major company rear ends your car, I'm willing to bet a lot of y'all not gonna make sure y'all y'all get out that vehicle all, good and everything's great. Oh no. You gonna run it up. You gonna make sure you gotta go to the doctor, get doctor visits. You gonna do what you have to do because they hit you, right? Right? Now I'm not saying be doing the most, but you gonna make sure you're compensated the way you should be compensated, especially if you didn't do anything. All right, bro. I'm not reading some of what y'all said, bro. Now, I'm not, like I said, I'm not sitting up here talking about, oh, you're not on a wheelchair when you know you can walk. No. But you're going to make sure you check everything out medically, and you're going to make sure you ain't got to pay for that. You are. Especially if you weren't at fault. So, same situation here, a little bit different. He's the one that broke the NDA. Let's see. Ms. Grant will prove at trial that she will need lifelong treatment because of the pain and suffering inflicted upon by her defense. Oh, nah. Lifelong treatment? Oh, she's running it up. He sadly has a 20-year history of these patterns. He's got to go. Much love, Ross. Appreciate that, Jesse. And make sure, if you haven't already, go ahead and run up the like button. We're pretty much almost done with this. Yeah. We're pretty much almost at the end of this whole situation. These are the multiple NDAs. That was the fifth, the NDA. Oh, well, not the multiple NDAs. They're listing why the NDA is not void. And at all times, relevant Miss McMahon and Laurinaitis knew that they would use fraud or coercion as they had done to other women in the past on plaintiff for sexual encounters. McMahon and Laurinaitis offered job placement and security as well as numerous gifts and special treatment and insurance for personal protection, i.e., McMahon's financial protection, reputational protection, and medical care, and promised these would continue if plaintiff remained loyal and obedient by engaging in sex acts and described herein. He did that shit. Guilty as fuck. We don't know, but it's not looking good, bro. Kind of skim through this. I think we're pretty much almost done. WWE owed Ms. Grant a duty of care. It was breached that duty, and its breach caused Ms. Grant is suffered the acts, injuries, and damages described in the complaint. And yep, they're kind of just recanting stuff here. And they broke it down even more. Yep. Yeah, they just kind of broke it down, and I think that's pretty much it, y'all. That's it. 67 pages. Yep. That's it, y'all. 67 pages. So after everything that we saw here, all the pages. Once again, this is her account of this whole situation. The question becomes, do y'all believe that Vince, John Laurinaitis, and potentially Brock Lesnar, do y'all believe this actually happened? That's a real question. Do y'all believe what this Miss Grant here has said? Do y'all believe that the things that she described happened to her from Vince McMahon? Do y'all believe Janelle Grant is her name? Hold on, let me scroll on up. I see a lot of yes. In fact, I'm gonna make a poll real quick. I'm gonna make a poll. I'm gonna make a poll. Do y'all believe Vince did this? Mostly everything that was said in this court document. Do y'all believe Vince played a part in this heinous activity? Someone said, as LA Knight would say, yeah. 95% no, 96% saying yes, 5% saying no. No wonder his team was no chance. Appreciate the two, man. Yeah, this is wild, bro. This is truly one of the wildest situations we have ever seen being brought to light. And the crazy thing is, there's been plenty of stories about Vince and what he has done behind the scenes, him moving his weight around in the company. The question becomes now, what happens? Does TKO finally step in and say, all right, you got to go? Does anything happen to Brock? I made a video saying maybe Brock, he's probably going to have to lay low for a while. Because his name wasn't said, but it was brought up. And if the dates align, you can only infer it's him. John Laurinaitis is gone, so we ain't got to worry about that. But what about the other higher-ups that knew? Will their names be released? And the other NDAs that Vince had requested for other ladies to sign. I honestly think Brock, yeah. Brock gonna have to sit this WrestleMania season out, even though his name wasn't said. It was inferred. And people aren't stupid. You can connect the dates. Brock definitely gonna have to sit this out. He would have to. The optics of it. Because right now, in the court of public opinion, Brock's guilty, Vince is guilty, John Laurinaitis is guilty, and anyone else that was a part of this is guilty. That's it. That's it. He would have to sit it out. If Brock doesn't show up to the Royal Rumble or WrestleMania, you know why. Yeah. He would have to sit this out. They have to damn near distance themselves from Vince. So Brock Lesnar really out here delivering the F. All right, bro. Hey, man. I just want to say I appreciate y'all for joining in. We had, I think, this is probably the most views I've ever had on a live stream. It was at one point, it was at like 20,000 people. Not 20,000. I'm tripping. 2,500. I'm about to say 20,000. Goddamn. 2,500 people, man. I appreciate everyone that was a part of this. We go through this together and chop it up. I will say this, man. It sucks because right now the hype for WWE is really at an all-time high. And we're about to embark in probably one of the best Royal Rumbles of all time. One of the best Royal Rumbles of all time. And now it's been somewhat tainted just a bit with this whole situation. And once again, I say this wasn't dropped just randomly on this particular week. No, this was dropped purposely to kind of shift the narrative of what's going on in WWE. So it sucks. It definitely does suck. And the real question that's going to come in the next couple of days is how's Triple H going to respond to this? Because you know they're going to do a press meeting. You know, the little media scrum they do after the events. I'm willing to bet someone's going to ask questions. If they have some journalistic integrity, they got to ask questions. What the hell's going on? And the real question is going to become, what's Triple H going to say in that media press, in that press coverage? What's he going to say? I don't know. This is really, it's unfortunate. And once again, these are all speculations. This is all alleged. But if this truly happened, and 94% of y'all believe this happened, if this truly happened, Vince needs to answer for this. There needs to be some type of repercussions. The only thing is, I don't think there will be any repercussions, only because Vince somehow finds a way to weasel his way out of certain situations. Will this be one of those times? I don't know. But right now, it's not looking too good for him. We got him out of WWE Creative, so that's a start. To be honest with you, if this is true, he does not need to be a part of WWE no more. Doesn't matter what great storylines we got from him in the past, that's in the past. If this is true, he don't need to be a part of WWE no more. That's it. And I mean, even on the back end, no. Being dead serious. Vince got nothing on O3 Kane. What the fuck, man? This is the definition of evil. Facts. Appreciate the 5. They need to hire a CZW guy to follow Vince around yelling, "Somebody dial 911, you stupid." Appreciate the 2. Tell the media what they can't add. What they can't ask. I think he meant to say what they can't ask. Hopefully they ask the right questions, because this needs to be asked. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's just one of those type of things where it's like, if it is true and this did happen, he needs to be done with anything related to WWE, even on the back end, even financially. But hey, man, I appreciate y'all. This has been an amazing stream. Thank y'all so much for joining in. I'm gonna be dropping my Royal Rumble preview and predictions video most likely tomorrow. We'll also be doing the SmackDown live stream reaction. So we're definitely gonna have that conversation with Dub. I know that's gonna be a very interesting one. People are gonna want to know his opinions on this whole situation. Also, we're going to be doing the Royal Rumble live stream reactions, so be on the lookout for that. I got some more vids lined up for you guys on the personal page. But thank y'all so much. This has been a very interesting one. I was not expecting to see some of the stuff I saw here. And Vince is a very, very sick man. And if this is true, he truly needs to get some type of help. But at his age, he's stuck in his ways. There's no changing people like that. When they've always had what they wanted, they're always taking what they wanted, even if they shouldn't have. There's no changing someone at this point in their life. If this is true, they need to get him far away from WWE. And that's the only thing I can say. So once again, we don't know how true all this is. So still alleged, still speculation. I can only give my opinion on the court documents, on what was said from her standpoint. But at the end of the day, we don't really know the truth. But we was, it's not looking too good for him. It's not looking too good for Vince, considering his past history and things we've heard about him as well. So we will see how things play out. But if this is true, they need to cut ties with Vince for good. But I appreciate y'all, man. And I will check y'all later on. More videos are on the way. Gonna do my Royal Rumble live stream. I'm not Royal Rumble live stream. My preview and predictions. I may go live and do that. If you guys want me to go live with my preview and predictions, I may. I don't. It depends on if I have enough time to do that. I may want to do that. I don't know. I'm gonna think about it. Either make it in video format or go live. Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know if that's something that y'all would be interested in, going live on the preview and predictions, and we have that conversation, because I do like going live with you guys. And I don't know, that could probably be something different. That could probably be something different to kind of switch it up, to go live on those type of vids. I don't know. Y'all let me know how I feel. I see a lot of yeahs on the preview and predictions. A lot of yeahs. And it would be cool to have that discussion to see who y'all think will win and lose as well. So you know what? I think that may be something I can do tomorrow for you guys. So it'll probably be sometime during the day, because I know we're gonna be doing the SmackDown live stream reactions. So it'll probably be a situation where I do that a little bit before the SmackDown live stream reaction, and then we go live on the In the Clutch page. So I'll try to potentially go live for my preview and predictions for the Royal Rumble tomorrow, and then we'll go live on the main page for SmackDown. So if y'all interested in that, I think a lot of y'all are. That should be a good one. So, all right, man. I catch y'all later on. I love you guys, and I'm out. Peace, man.